Hello everyone. With my good friend Jacques here. He's going to introduce himself, and he's going to tell you guys his version of how we met, because that's important in our chat. But Jacques, go ahead. Who's Jacques? Where are you from? The story.
Yes, I'm Jacques Little.
Yeah.
I'm from France. I was born on this farm. Not on this farm, but I'm from there. I don't know what this camera thing.
Just forget about the camera, bro. Just forget we chatting.
Yeah, I was born in Victoria, but I'm now back on the farm. I met Wolf in Stellenbosch, and I met through rugby.
Yeah, good God.
He's doing a podcast. I also feel on the spot, yeah.
Yeah, would you like me to tell you stories about wildlife?
Yes.
Okay, what
I think you should
know?
come take my place for a second.
Okay.
Huh?
While you've been comfortable. Yeah, you can take his place.
Okay, and then do what?
And then just talk. We talk. There's no more people.
Okay. What are we talking about?
We'll speak about anything. Let's see where this conversation goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny. Where's your microphone?
Here it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah. But like, I think let's go back to that conversation that we were having earlier on about religion. What's your take on religion, and what do you think it's important of its importance in community and society?
Okay, it's a very simple question to ask. Because if we look at the way we have various religions, and some are extremely harsh, okay, and they don't allow people to make their own decisions. But most of the, let's call it Western culture, you know, let's just call it like even African religion. They all go back to the same God, and they all put the people in front. Okay, so they don't force you into making bad decisions that you now have to go and kill people. Okay? Like the fundamental, guys called like Hamas, but is it the ISIS?
Yes.
Those guys. Okay? They have to kill people to prove themselves worthy of God. Okay? Now, my greatest guy, my boss, is a guy called Truman Bukele. And he's working himself up, and he's going to be to his specific, let's just call it his church.
Yes.
Okay, not a religion, his church, which is a Christianity-based church. And he was like a minister. He is now like a bishop, okay, of assembly. I think you know
Assembly
where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in order for him to progress in his ministry and the way he ministers, he has to actually be a PhD.
It has to be a doctor.
Yeah, which he's busy with at the moment. And what I really enjoy is in the morning before we start work, we have a prayer group. To make us safe. Because remember, we work in the bush. And the people that we're working with in the bush don't actually like what we do. Okay? We're conservationists. We go in the bush, on the rivers, we pull the gill nets out, they shoot at us, they want to kill us. We're perceived as a bad people. And in the morning before we start work, Truman has a prayer. And about once a week, it's really turns me on. Imagine the girls, you know, the office girls, we've got female field range as well. Okay. They will stand on the one side and they start singing Christian hymns,
Christian hymns, yeah.
No, and you know when you work in that environment with people, okay, and this is where they start thinking it's going to be positive. I've got love in my throat, get tears in my eyes.
Sure.
But if we can really embrace that lifestyle, so you have, like, you know, you're a Catholic, you're Anglican, you're whatever. Why do people from Islam have to be so aggressive? And this is something that concerns me. Because Christianity, we have, you can run off a whole lot of different forms of Christianity. And it's all harmony.
It's harmonious religion.
It is.
But now, what would you say with the argument that someone would have against Christianity, that most of homicides and bad events that has happened under the Christian name, under the Christian religion, if you look in the past, there's a lot of times where it's happened that there's been wars that have been declared, there's been bad things that has happened under Christianity.
Okay. A lot of all that bad stuff that you're talking about actually happens today.
Still happens to this day.
Yeah, it does. And the people that are doing that is mob. Okay, let's go further back. We had the wars. We had the Christian wars in the Roman Empire, and the Greek Empire. And a lot of that was done under the word of Christianity, which is a lot what ISIS and Hamas and those people are doing now. So these religious wars are feeding themselves through, you know, now this is the new era, you know,
so
we're going to kill that. Religious wars have never stopped. And this is something that really confuses me. One, when we can sit like you and myself and big pompies and whatever, sitting there, and we all can live and connect with each other and move on without friction. Okay, this is modern day Christianity. Because I think what happened is that, now when I'm talking about Christianity, I'm talking about a lot of different beliefs, which are, let's call it the right way, and the Islam and the Hamas people, you know, let's call it hardcore Muslims or whatever. Muslim people are actually very peaceful people, but you got that hardcore element, and that is what's holding them back from what is happening. And I don't know, this is my personal belief, is that we don't get rid of it and move, you know, we're moving on or whatever, but you know, it's just why? I think can you answer that question?
I think
I'm going to throw that question back to you.
I'm not trying to answer the question, but as Jacques said something earlier on about religion, that whoever's in a certain religion has a sense of supremacy from that approach. So if you're a Christian, you there's some sense of supremacy as looking at down on other religions. You think your religion is correct, everyone else's is incorrect.
100%.
And that's what last week, I think I was thinking about this. I think conversation shouldn't be, but when we are conversing, when we're having a dialogue, dio means two people, and log comes from the Greek word logos, which means the truth or God's word. So when we are dialoguing, we are there's something that we're doing. We're trying to unfold the truth. We're trying to move closer to God's word through conversation. Now, when we are speaking, I think we have to have at the back of the mind that as I'm passing my point over to you, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm inviting you in how I'm thinking, and you are allowed to explore that and do whatever with that information, whatever you want to do. But most of the times when we're having conversations, especially religious conversations, I've done it also with my close friend who's an atheist. What we do is we try to convert people. We try to invite people over. I want to be right and you are right.
The dogs are going.
That's what we do.
No, but it's the wrong way to do it.
And which is the wrong way to do it. So whatever we do, I believe, whatever lies behind any religion, at the core of it is the truth. Things, as I said earlier on, we are afraid of what we don't know. We are afraid of the unknown. So it's easier for me to shut out what I don't know and shame it and tell you you're wrong and I'm right.
Yeah.
But at the core of that is not because I really believe that. I think it's because I think I'm afraid to explore the darkness. I'm afraid to go to this unknown. People are not willing to unknown. If I grew up as a Christian, that's what I want to go with and run with. Anytime I'm supposed to unlearn that perhaps my views are incorrect, perhaps my perspective is not right, I'm afraid to step out of my comfort zone and be uncomfortable in learning the truth. So it's easy for me to say, I'm right, you're wrong, let me kill you, because you don't want to convert, you don't want to be on my side. And that isn't what conversation and education is about. Conversation and education is about sharing and inviting.
Yes, so that is where we're coming from. Is what you just said. That is what led to Christianity wars. Okay? That you're right, you're wrong. And I will kill you because you're not listening to me.
You don't want to hear me out.
Yeah. But I mean, that's how they settle wars in those days, or settle disputes in those days. Okay? In South Africa, in our history, right?
Yes.
We had a thing called a Boer War.
Yes.
And if you want to think about it logically, that was a Christianity war. And the Boers were, in fact, you can even go further back to Blood River, you know? The Boers were very strong, stubborn, believed people. They believed in their religion. The English people came there and said, no, you guys are already here, but you need to sort yourselves out. And then they took their wives and children and put them in a prison war camp.
So,
Well, in that war was about more about, it was a religion. Okay, that's new in our history of South Africa. Where the African people weren't even involved and then got involved, and you know. So now, I think if we come back to 2025, we don't have those religious wars in this country anymore.
not physically, but they still go.
Yeah. No,
They still go.
Not stopping, eh?
Not 100%.
Yeah, and you know, I'm an Anglican and you're a Methodist, and
You can't.
cis men, you go to their church.
100%.
And they go to, or the Baptist, no, cis. When is it going to stop?
And most of the time, the things that we bother ourselves with, for instance, what your belief is and what mine is, it never concerns us. It never affects my style of living, but somehow it bothers us. Somehow how you choose to live your life bothers me. It makes me feel at unease with your life and your religion. I don't know why it's always like that. I think it's this whole idea, I think specifically with Christian religion, that we're supposed to be fisher of men. So I think I'm meant to, which is somewhat correct, but I think I'm meant to spread the gospel. And that means I need to go to everyone and try to tell everyone to come
come. Yeah.
And I think the best way to do that is not by beating you up or by backslashing you with bad words. I think I do that with kindness. If you're able to look at me as a model of truthfulness, or if you're able to, my life exemplifies what I'm preaching, then you would start asking yourself, but who is this God that this person is serving? In the Bible, I'll make the example of the 3 Israelites, the 3 Jewish boys, Abednego, when they were thrown in the fire, how they made King Nebuchadnezzar realize or say that everyone must serve this God was not because they went to King Nebuchadnezzar and told him, no, you need to come worship our God. But instead, what they did is they stood firm in their faith, was thrown in the furnace of fire, and then he saw a 4th man walking with him. He saw the results, the birth of their faith. And then after that, after seeing how they lived their life and their lifestyle, and then he was like, who is this God that these boys are serving? And that's how I think we really spread the Bible or the gospel. We spread the gospel by our lifestyle reflecting our firm foundation, our faith. Not by me coming to you in your house and saying, no, listen. I need to live out my faith and let my faith give birth to what then converts you to my faith.
Can I just reverse what you're saying?
Correct.
Not reverse it. Let me add to what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay? It's very simple. Walk the talk.
Thank you.
Okay? So you don't need to go to people. And you don't need to complicate their lives with okay, you can quote verse or whatever, which often happens, when I'm just working with the kids and stuff in the bush, and I'm doing conservation work and stuff. You don't just walk the talk.
Walk the talk. That's good.
And I'm telling you now why I believe in walk the talk. I spend a lot of my time teaching children about conservation. Okay? And somebody asked me, Nick, why are you doing this? You're not being paid to do this. And I said, I was chosen to do that.
Sure.
Okay? You are chosen. Your calling will come. It will knock on your pip one day. Okay? It happened to me when I was about 56 years old.
Sure.
Right?
And only at 56.
Yes. That I was chosen to educate children in conservation. Okay? And I work with these children. And I walk it and I explain it. Remember? And I tell them, I didn't make this bush, I didn't make this tree, I didn't make this. Okay? God made it.
Yeah.
But we need to look after it. So that when you peak, another one can come and have a look at it. Your children, your grandchildren, we need to conserve bush. And I'm very passionate about
your work.
about the work and the opportunity I've got. And I'm very blessed because not many people can do what I do. Now, could I do that by myself? I didn't go to university, I didn't learn about the bush. So, I believe I was chosen to do that.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. I like this because this touches on something that most people struggle with, a question or a thought of purpose.
Yeah,
We always speak about like, what is my purpose? What's my calling? And you touched on it and you said at 56. Is there a point where one feels like I am living out my purpose now? Or
What? Sorry to interrupt you. Once I felt blessed and empowered to do what I do, I'm growing every day.
Sure.
And every time I had the privilege of working with Mangosuthu University of Technology students, 3rd year conservation BSc students.
Sure.
Okay? Me and Julius Malema, we're pals. We got matric woodwork. Okay? And I said to Trevor, the head of department, and there were 2 other guys, I just can't remember their names now, they're doctors. Okay, in botany and wetland science. Okay, Hardy, Kevin and Guy, and they did the pre-trip for the students. Okay, it was a Friday afternoon, and I'm walking around, I'm showing them, there's this going on here, and what. Here's what happened. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm lecturing students.
Sure.
Eh?
Sure.
With my
With your woodwork
in biodiversity.
Sure.
And all I was doing was telling them my experiences in the bush.
For me, what's that saying? I think that's really profound. For me, it's that when you living out your purpose and your calling, you, God will qualify you in a way that the world doesn't define.
And you can work
just
with the
because
children.
that's so good. That's so good.
And the doctors, okay, remember they've studied.
They've studied for this, and
Yeah.
you were just living out your purpose, but now you're teaching people who are educated in the field.
And doctors.
And doctors.
And you know, and that's why I say, okay, it took a long time in my life to crack the nut.
Sure.
That's what you're gonna do. You can't just don't do that. Who gives you that inspiration?
So what way does it come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, I always say, I've always said this and I've always believed this. I say, with this whole idea and this whole question of purpose, there's something intrinsic inside of us that helps us to walk the path. Like your interests are not random. What you like and what you're easily drawn to, it's not random. It has something to do with your calling and your purpose, with you.
Correct.
It, like the people that you meet and you confiding in certain people and them coming in at the right time, those things are not random. I don't think they are random. I think something inside of you pulls, there's like a magnetic force that pulls the right interest. And all of a sudden, you like this. Why do you like it? And you're so passionate about it. Where does that come from? What gives birth to that? And I always say, if we really listen to ourselves and study ourselves, I think we were having this chat with Jacques yesterday, or it wasn't Jacques, it was Sinai, we grow up to go back to who we were. We become from the kids, from you at a pure form and your innocent form. You grow and then you teach yourself to grow back to who you were, that child version of yourself, because at the pure of that essence of yourself, that's where all the answers are at. All the answers to your purpose and your calling. So if we were really to sit down and question ourselves, why am I interested to this? Those things are there as guidelines for us to pull us to what we're supposed to do.
Look at yourself. We have not known each other for more than 24 hours. Okay? And you are doing something that's very passionate to me. Okay? It's working with children, with sport, with being healthy bodies, with okay? If I saw you 10 years ago and I said, you're going to go and coach children rugby, and you're going to influence those little people's lives.
Yeah.
And you would have looked at me and
told
go, Nick, you're an old twit. You don't know what you're on about.
That's true. That's actually very true.
Okay, I've gone through that with myself. I actually believe that we have it took me till I was about 54 to realize that all my life decisions, a lot of them were bad decisions. Okay, I wasn't a murderer and a rapist and whatever. I wasn't doing well or anything. I'm still not, but I'm doing well. You know, all my life. And then all of a sudden, one day, I just woke up and I got this feeling. And you have that now, I believe you have that now. And you're working with children. The future of our planet is children.
Sure.
Okay? And if we can teach children to love nature and love God, and when they do that, they are loving peace.
Sure.
Now, we go back to different religions and everything.
Yes.
At the end of the day, to me, there's one God. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, where you're pinging in, okay? And it's the same principle, right? But I don't want to talk about other people because it's just negative. But and it's people like, I'm just going to brag now, like us, that makes it different to the children. And it uplifts them and it makes them inspirational. Do you know the Springbok Rugby Club before they go to the rugby field? Okay. When we start working in Isabella, if we don't start with a prep, the whole day goes down. I mean, we're working like soldiers, right? Remember, you got no places, bloody people that want to kill you for doing your job. The day will go down. I'm telling you now, something will go down. Something goes up. So that's why we have that prayer morning. And then when we finish, disperse, we say thank you. But you know what I love the most? When the girls start singing hymns.
Yes.
Okay, I don't understand Zulu.
But something about this here.
No! Because look at my hairs on my arm. The hairs go up. You know that harmony with that. You know, and you don't have to speak the language, right? But you need to understand what's happening there. And I'm talking about tough chicks. You come stand there and you talk shit. They'll box you in the jaw. They're tough chicks these days. You know when the shots are going, they don't run away. They're tough girls. When they sing in the morning, and I think to myself, girls, are we really going to the bush? We're going into danger together. When you're singing like that, it just gives confidence. I get so fascinated.
That's so good. Thank you very much for this conversation. Thank you very much. It actually means a lot. I learned so much.
Okay. I don't know why you're sitting there laughing.